that are there right now. Now, I asked everybody on Twitter, on social media, give me your top, six? I mean, like seven. That's what it was. Seven heavyweights. And really, this is a very argumentable chart that I posted up right now on the screen. If you guys have somebody else in mind, shoot it out there. We can always, look at it and check it out. Exactly. Not everybody's got that Canelo money. But so the top right now that I see in the heavyweight division, obviously the king of the hill is going to be Tyson Fury. Can anybody argue about that there, Johnny?
No, I think you got to put Tyson Fury up there. First of all, he has the unbeaten record. Second of all, he showed a great adjustment in the rematch against Wilder, not only showing his great boxing ability, but also his physicality, the way he leans on you, the way he roughhouses you now. Like, he shows a lot of different things at heavyweight that nobody has proven to do yet aside from Tyson Fury.
I'm still a little bit puzzled about Deontay Wilder. They are said to have that rematch. He is exercising that clause in their contract about the rematch, right? So I don't know why people are knocking him down all the way down to like rated 5 as a heavyweight. I mean, he was the WBC champion. He held on to it. I think he broke records with it. Power puncher. I mean, he was knocking everybody out. Just wasn't successful against Tyson Fury, who figured out the puzzle of the very awkward Bambi legs of Deontay Wilder. So for me, even though his balance is always off, and he does look for the big shot, he doesn't know how to set punches. He still doesn't know how to use a jab. In my book, Johnny, I still have him rated as number 2. I don't know what else anybody else can think, but like I said, this is still a very argumentable chart. You guys can give a great debate about it, but in my opinion, he's number 2 on my book.
I'm going to agree with you there with our 1 and 2, and Deontay Wilder certainly should be there. With that power, and that potential at any moment in time, no matter what Tyson Fury could do in the third fight, at any point in time, it could turn the lights out. Adjustment. We shall see, of course. I'm a big Wilder fan. I think that
we know that
he uses a jab, and
we know you're a big Wilder fan.
He could jab. I know. Everybody knows. But, if he uses a jab and maybe boxes a little bit more responsibly, the problem in that second fight was that I think that he wasn't prepared for Tyson Fury backing him up. And we all know that Wilder doesn't look good on the back foot. And Fury, to his credit, though, was constant pressure on Wilder. He was relentless. I watched that fight several times. And but to go to your
masterful.
I think that at the end of the day, Wilder, a masterful performance. Wilder should definitely be considered at least in the top 3. He only lost 1 fight, guys.
Masterful performance.
Arguably 2, because a lot of people think that Fury beat him the first time, but officially he's only lost 1.
And the third up on the rating on the chart is Anthony Joshua out of the UK, who had a loss against an upset, and by far one of the biggest upsets that's up there in history, losing to Andy Ruiz in such a great fashion, the way Andy won the fight. But he was Anthony Joshua, AJ was able to redeem himself. He got the title back. He fought smart. He went in there. He outworked Andy Ruiz by staying away from him. Really didn't exchange punches, but you got to still put him up there because he took all the titles back that he had lost to Andy Ruiz. So to me, he's the third guy up. Now, if you want to move AJ up to above Wilder, I wouldn't argue with you about that. But I was looking at the performance, the way Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, didn't put him in the second slot. Johnny, is this reason why? Is when Lennox Lewis lost to Rockman, Lennox Lewis came out there and took it back with a great KO fashion. He went out there for revenge. The way Andy Ruiz beat down Anthony Joshua was that he left him kind of still scared in the locker room. He came out, he fought smart to live another day, but to me, I found that there was still a little lackluster of heart of wanting to gain revenge back, wanting to implicate that, this was an off night. I'm going to get my titles back, and this is how I'm going to do it. But he didn't do that. But it doesn't notch him down all the way down to like a 5 or 6 or 7. To me, it keeps him at a third.
Yeah, Fury and Wilder, Joshua, any way you want to swing them. I think Fury won, but wherever you want to put Wilder and Joshua, that's fine. You know, both those guys came off losses. I mean, Wilder, we see how he adapts after a loss. That's a very telling characteristic of, you know, a fighter, like we talked about with Lennox Lewis, the Hasim Rahman thing. What a way to come back when he knocked him out. One of the most devastating shots in heavyweight history. I mean, that was ridiculous. We got to see how Wilder comes back. For Joshua with that Ruiz fight, man, like, I think it's not take anything away from Joshua, and I do respect him, and I do think he's a good fighter. But I think a lot had to do with what Ruiz did in that fight. Because if you watch, like, yeah, Ruiz did look like shit, but Joshua got hit quite often. And I think if we had a more in shape Ruiz, maybe the result would have been different, or we would have had a more competitive fight.
Could have, if of, the whole works, but truth of the matter is that Ruiz didn't show up, but I'm sorry, Ruiz didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Joshua did. And you know what? Taking nothing away from Anthony Joshua, I was not a fan of the performance, but it was a smart, intelligent, well-crafted for a strategic win for him to get back those titles. So you can't knock that off. Now, fourth on my list is obviously is going to be Andy Ruiz. He didn't get a beat down. He was outsmarted, outmaneuvered, and it could have been a weight. It could have been he wasn't disciplined. It could have been a whole lot of excuses. Fact of the matter is he didn't show up and he didn't do his job. So it could notch him down all the way down to 6 or 7, but I'm going to keep him at 4. And the reason is because hand speed, if he's on point and he's on the right weight, which would be 250, 260, he is a force to be reckoned with in the heavyweight division. Now, ring robin here between Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury. Out of those 3, he could possibly beat, which is going to be AJ again or Deontay Wilder. Fury, to me, is always going to be that fighter that he's going to have to come in with a lackluster of interest to lose a match. Right now, he's on the king of the hill. And I think for quite some time, he's going to stay up there, Johnny. The reason being is because he likes being up there. Right now, he is the king.
Well, Andy Ruiz is a handful, bro, because of that speed like you're talking about. And just, you know, the way Holyfield had spoken about him even prior to the first fight with Joshua, with Joshua, is that, you know, about how much difficulty Evander Holyfield had with him. When you think about that, like, Holyfield's a master's craft, and I don't care what age he was at when he sparred Ruiz. Obviously, he was advanced in age, but he gave this guy a lot of credit. And when I watched him box prior to the Joshua fight, Andy Ruiz, I saw a lot of good things. I saw hand speed, combination punching, and accuracy. So again, especially if you consider this at heavyweight ranks, that's a dangerous combination to have.
Absolutely. You know, and then number 5, I have Joseph Parker. You know, I'm going to tell you why I don't have him above Andy Ruiz right now. He had a great win just a few months back. Great win. He's had some medical issues, you know, but I kind of rated how his performance was between Andy Ruiz and AJ. With Andy Ruiz, he was there for the fight. A lot of folks feel that he won that fight. That fight is still very debatable. It was very close, but he kept up the pace with Andy Ruiz. And really, when he decided to box and move and come forward to trade with Andy Ruiz, he was able to do it. So ring generalship there was really in control, okay? Some guys are going to use copy box stats. I don't use copy box stats. When I do use it, my own 2 eyes to tell me what I'm seeing. You know, so it's still a very debatable fight, but he did get the win. But the way he fought AJ, Anthony Joshua, left a lot of questions because, you know, Parker didn't go out there and seize the moment. He allowed AJ to dictate whatever was happening that night. And every second, every minute of the time they spent together in the ring. So to me, he kind of left that hanging. So it doesn't move him up, in my opinion. But I still believe that if given the chance again to go after AJ or even Andy Ruiz or even a Deontay Wilder, if Wilder can get past Fury or whatever, I still think he poses a major threat and has some very winnable fights among the other 4 that we just mentioned right now.
Well, the thing with Joseph Parker versus Joshua fight too that we got to consider is that referee, man. That referee didn't let him do anything, you know. And to that, Parker showed a good look and was unbeaten, and then the Dillian fight, he almost pulled that out at the end. That was a great fight. That was an excellent contest. Joseph Parker, I think, up to the abilities that he's shown that I think, as fight fans know that he's potential to have. I think he could do some great things. He might be a wild card here, David. He might be a wild card.
Yeah, I think he is definitely a wild card. I mean, look, he's got some great names on his resume. Hughie Fury, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. I mean, you can't deny Parker has got a place in the top 10 in the heavyweights. Now, anybody that's tuning in, if you could tweet us or you can come on here in the chat room, give us your 7 best heavyweights here. On number 6, Luis Ortiz is my number 6 on the chart. And I'm going to tell you why. He got defeated, knocked out twice by Deontay Wilder, but I still think he gives a lot of these guys a lot of problems. His style being a southpaw, he's a Cuban, crafty, smart. His IQ in boxing is very high. He walked in as big shots when it came to Deontay Wilder. And who's going to hold up to Wilder's big punch when he's on point? When when he lands that big shot, not every heavyweight can withstand it. Fury was able to, get away with it in the second fight, in the rematch. But Ortiz to me still is a very, very dangerous pressure guy. Like I said, only 2 losses to Wilder, and there's no shame in that. So he's my number 6 there, Johnny.
They always say styles make fights, and Wilder just got that look against Ortiz that could knock him out, as we've seen twice. And in the second fight, Ortiz was very dominant, and even in the first fight, he had pockets of success. Right. But he got lazy in the second fight for just an instant. And again, this is heavyweight boxing. That's all it takes, and that's where it led to his demise. And Wilder capitalized on it. I think Ortiz can recover from it, and I've certainly put him up there. And definitely, I'm going to say after the top 3, 4, 5, 6, for sure.
And last but not least, I got Dillian Whyte. And I think it's obvious. Dillian Whyte has pretty much fought everybody and has won a lot of his fights. So there's no denying him. Some folks are going to ask me, hey, how come you didn't put Usyk in there yet? Because the fact is that Usyk still hasn't really proven to me that he is a major threat in the heavyweight division. It doesn't mean, though, you can't recognize what he's done in the cruiserweight, okay? And yes, he's fought in the heavyweight division in the amateurs. He did fight in the World Boxing Series, but now this is completely different. Now he's in the pro rankings, which we'll get into. Those graphics are excellent. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. So those are my 7. I'd like to hear your guys' 7. If you guys can give me 10, that'd be great. Every time we are going to do the heavyweight state of the game soon. So it'll be a new graphic, and everybody else that participates will put up your guys' suggestions as well. Like I said, this is very debatable. This is not a solid thing. These are my picks, and if I miss something or you think that nope, you got it wrong, well, exactly. See, you have Dillian Whyte as your top 5. I wouldn't argue about that. I would not argue about that. But what I would want to hear is why. Why do you have him as your top 5? So again, this is a very debatable chart. I just wanted to throw it out there for some, let me think about it here in moments, okay? So yeah. Those are my 7, and I'm pretty sure Johnny's going to come up with his 7 because these are mine. You can't copy mine there, Johnny. You got to come up with your own, man.
I got my own, and I tell you what, this is great that we could actually have this conversation about heavyweights, because for a while